How is it possible that every time we talk about something amazing around League of Legends, it comes out of the fans and the fan devs and anyone who is outside of Riot who is also really passionate about this game? With the latest thing being so good, it suspiciously vanished off of the face of the world, although there might be an interesting reason why that happened. So, when it comes to fan-made things being bangers, we are no strangers to it. There are custom skins with higher quality than Riot's ultimate skins. Recently, people figured out how to keep Riot's minigames running even after they are taken down. And even more recently, there is a new app that popped up which might legitimately evolve how League's esports work. And it all came out of Zenos technology. I think it's Zenos, it's not Zenos, is it? That one has dark reputation. Anyway, about a week ago, Zenos technology revealed a video where they showed us their newest tech. Which again, was tech that flew a little bit too close to the sun, as it has been nuked since. The only footage we now have is this one unlisted video. And upon watching this video, you might start wondering, just what on earth is going on here? The future, my friends. We are witnessing the future. So, Zenos is a company that's been behind quite a few events. Specifically, they are specializing around augmented reality and making cameras in-game more interesting. Meaning that they could be used for interactive watch parties. For Counter-Strike, they created an app that allows them to watch matches live on a board, as if the pro players were playing in front of them. Which is all done through the magic of virtual cameras. This screenshot alone speaks volumes. They also do have some history with Riot, but they also worked on some virtual production for FIFA. They've also done some watch parties for Valorant, although those were closer to something like watching stuff in VR chat. And recently they started focusing on virtual events in general, with their #1 tool being used for all of these projects being Unreal Engine, which became quite the powerhouse when it comes to real-time virtual production. And well, it just so happens to be that Unreal Engine is also what Zenos used when they started working on their latest app for League of Legends. That's right, what you are watching right now is not Riot's spaghetti engine running League of Legends. No, somehow, this is League of Legends running in Unreal Engine. And so, let me explain. If you go on a journey through the internet, you would be able to find countless of videos of people upgrading League of Legends using Unreal Engine. Sometimes it turns into Uncanny Valley, and sometimes it turns into a decent upgrade, all while losing all of League's original stylization. And that's because simply putting something together in Unreal Engine is not that difficult. What would be difficult is taking all of League's assets, porting them into Unreal Engine, and using all of the original shaders and visual effects, again all in Unreal Engine, and all while you would not be able to tell that it is an entirely different engine. That is what Zenos pulled off, and that is why all of this is quite impressive. Although there might be a slight catch, we'll get to that one in a bit. But now you might be wondering, why do all of that? Well, the answer is for some ridiculous effects as well as optimization. How this Zenos prototype works is that it recreates League of Legends in Unreal Engine visually, and they take Riot's API to take data from live games, or in this case, a replay. Specifically, this is one of those famous plays between BLG and T1, and using the live data from the game, they can make the game run live in front of you. This has a massive benefit. First of all, this is all running on a separate app on your computer, meaning that you are not streaming a video live off of a feed. Instead, you are just streaming game data as if you are playing League of Legends yourself. The benefit of this is that streaming is expensive, both for the production and for the people watching, because buffering a simple video eats up a lot of data. In comparison, when you are playing video games, you are only downloading small strings that tell you what champion is where and what they are doing. In fact, Zenos mentioned that's exactly how it works. They look at Riot's API, they somehow take the bone positions of the animations and they apply them in real time. This also means that apparently it allows Zenos to make this work on your phone, including in something like a simple browser. Meaning that it wouldn't even be necessary to download an app to make this work. Now yes, unless you cache this app in your browser, it will make you eat some data to download it, but after it is set up, it should still be saving data. The other big benefit is that since all of this is technically running on your computer, you have the freedom to do whatever you want with your camera. You don't have to watch the main camera of the esports production, giving you some massive flexibility when it comes to the viewer experience. In fact, this is what you can see in the preview. Zenos started working on something they call the Poro mode, which essentially would allow you to take control of a critter and walk around the map. Now sure, League was not made with a third-person camera in mind, which is why the game looks really odd, but this is something you can combine with our last big benefit. You see, in theory, this program should be able to let you make private watch parties. With simple peer-to-peer connection, you should be able to invite your friends, and together you would be able to possess an army of Poros and just run around the map as the games are happening. In reality, this wouldn't be too far away from the events in something like Fortnite. In fact, given Riot's relationships, I would not be surprised to see them being interested in this. Riot already has a good relationship with Epic Games, who run Fortnite, and who also own Unreal Engine, which is exactly what this app is running off of. Meaning that all the paths are kinda opened up to Riot. And should Riot want to, they could be able to use all of this to evolve their esports viewer experience. Though they could also evolve the monetization with it. Because look, I would not be surprised if this was one of the reasons why the original video was taken down. They were using pro plays in their examples, so maybe there were some legal issues. But it's also possible that there are some talks with Riot already happening in the background. Now apparently, in the making of this app, Zenos has also been using a lot of community code to make this work. This would include stuff like porting the models into this app, meaning that in theory there might have also been issues with crediting people for their work. So the truth is, we're not exactly sure what is the real reason for this to be taken down. But here's the thing. Let's say Riot goes through with this and they accept this as an awesome way to make the viewer experience better. Well, there are a few ways that Riot can pull this off. First of all, they can totally turn this into a premium feature. I can definitely imagine a world where this is paid. But let's say that it is something that simply rolls out for free. As it probably should. Well, we know that Riot is still looking for ways to make the monetization of esports more sustainable. One example would be Riot recently opening up to betting sponsors, meaning that gambling can now become an official sponsor of League of Legends. And so since everything seems to be on the table, who's to say that Riot wouldn't be able to sell premium skins for the Poros as you roam around? Why couldn't they sell cosmetics for the viewer parties? Why couldn't they turn League of Legends into Roblox, eh? I mean, have you seen just how many different Poros there are in this game? Well, the truth is, Riot can absolutely do this, should anything ever come out of this. Because yes, this app looks promising. It is crazy to see how much work went into this, considering that all of this is once again done in Unreal Engine. And again, unfortunately, we don't have the original video, which might be because there was some extra stuff done on this app and there might be legal issues. But in that video, they said that they did make all champions with all of their skins work. Meaning that for the most part, this app would be ready to go. And so it is likely that the project suddenly vanished, because some talks with Riot might already be happening and so they need all of their images to be clean. In fact, it seems like this might have always been the goal for Zenos. It seems like they started working on this project as fans, but the truth is it might have always been the plan to just sell it to Riot if it is good enough. And if not, they would likely be looking for a way to make all of this sustainable. Be it through a premium stuff or not. Because yes, I will have to admit, This is an interesting piece of virtual production tech. And so here we are, with another amazing fan-made thing, which might unironically be something that Riot might want to invest into. And should this kick off in the right direction, who knows, maybe Riot will evolve their esports scene, which has somehow kept growing to this day. You all may think that this is a dying game, but the views keep going up with every tournament, which all inevitably results in one thing. Since gambling can now become an official sponsor of esports, once this app totally goes live, the Poros are gonna be a gacha, aren't they?